Good evening to all of you, and thank you for joining us on 13 Plus. I'm Mary Coleman. Hope you're having a great Monday evening so far. Well, the number of women incarcerated in the United States is growing, with nearly 200,000 behind bars. But no matter how minor or serious their crime, or even whether they're simply waiting for trial, many face an unexpected additional punishment: restricted or delayed access to feminine hygiene products when they are in need. National investigative reporter Joe Sturman exposes the dangerous consequences in the waiting period.
Gotta start with the wings.
We're creating something millions of women across the country rely on every month. A standard hygiene product that most of us take for granted and find just reaching under the bathroom sink or making a quick trip to the drugstore.
Normally, you could just peel this back like this.
But this is what incarcerated women often have to do when period products they need aren't available in prison.
Someone could die because of this. So there's very real health consequences that are happening.
Consequences that come no matter what kind of crime women have committed. They come from the extreme steps we're told many behind bars routinely have to take, assembling makeshift tampons and pads, using anything they can find when they don't have access.
MacGyver is the patron saint of prisons because you have to take what you have and make do.
I know that there are stories about people taking stuffing from outside of their beds, from ripping their sheets, from tearing up their clothes, just to make the products that they need.
Kimberly Haven knows it all too well.
When you have to make a makeshift product, that's an act of desperation.
Oh, absolutely it is.
An act she did repeatedly in the Maryland Correctional Institution for Women, paying for her crimes with time served and a lifetime sentence on her health.
When you rip off that cover, all of those little fibers just kind of go airborne, and they go up inside of you. And so as a result of that, I ended up coming home and having to have an emergency hysterectomy.
Haven says she had the surgery following her release in 2015, blaming the use of makeshift tampons that caused toxic shock syndrome. Her health crisis spurred by what many consider a human rights issue, still happening in jails and prisons from coast to coast. It's a correctional system we discovered fails to provide incarcerated women with basic needs, stripping them of their dignity, endangering their health, and putting them at risk for exploitation and abuse, all because they, like most women, simply bleed.
It is dehumanizing, it is demeaning, it is a problem universally across the country.
It's a problem fueled by spotty laws and policies that vary from state to state. We found them with help from the Arnold Center for Investigative Journalism at Indiana University. Together, we discovered many states don't have laws or specific written policies requiring that period products be given for free in prisons, leaving women to potentially rely on commissaries they may not be able to afford and that only have a few products to choose from. Some state policies, including Kentucky, Nevada, and South Carolina, only require that women be given pads, but not tampons. And some states even arbitrarily limit how many they can get. Women don't stop getting their periods when they go to prison, so why is it so hard to ensure that they have access to the products everyone else needs?
We make facilities for men. We have men in mind. Men are the default. And so it's seen as extra to have to worry about this, which is so crazy because if you incarcerate women, you should have to worry about it. Absolutely.
Miriam Vishniak is more than concerned. She's a researcher literally getting her PhD in prison periods.
I realized that I was just sitting on this treasure trove of information.
She spent years compiling the online Prison Flow Project, interviewing incarcerated women and tracking changing laws, policies, and legal cases involving menstrual product access.
There's no understanding that people need access to these products at all times, in all locations.
But that doesn't happen everywhere. Our investigation found only 6 states had policies specifying women should get period products they need at any time of day or night. Most states don't have written policies at all related to availability of products, or said they'd be given out upon request, meaning women may have to ask when they realize they need them.
Every single woman I talked to, no matter where they'd been in prison or how many years it had been since they were released, every single one of them said it felt like I had to beg like a dog to get what I needed.
When states don't have a law, when states don't have a written policy, what's the impact?
If you have a place that has absolutely no written rule, then what you're doing is leaving it up to individual guards.
That's what Vishniak says can lead to weaponization of period products. It's happened in Alabama, Florida, and New Jersey, with criminal cases highlighting incarcerated women forced to trade sexual favors just to get feminine hygiene products. Situations like that prompted the Federal Bureau of Prisons to create policies requiring that women in its facilities be given a variety of free menstrual products. But that kind of universal access hasn't trickled down across the board to state prisons or local jails across the country.
There's definitely a sense of like, well, we know our prisons better, we know our states better, you know, nobody likes the federal government being like, you need to do this.
And because they don't, our team uncovered egregious delays and restrictions on period product access at the local level, resulting in serious hygiene problems. We filed public records requests in more than 20 cities, finding complaints filed by
I apologize for any technical difficulties we experienced during this evening. Here's a live look from our Mount Bigelow camera overlooking the city. We hope you have a great evening and will join us for 13 News Live at 10 for more of your news and weather.